Hey guys, thanks for tuning into this video. I wanted to share some information with you that will hopefully demonstrate why the flat earth movement is becoming more and more mainstream. Just for one example, about a week ago, Tucker Carlson was quoted as having said that he's open to the flat earth theory. Now, Tucker Carlson, if you've been following media at all the last few years, he's become one of the most outspoken and well known personalities in our country. He got fired off his job at Fox because he's one of the only reporters that really talks about things that are really going on, right? And he has some really hard hitting stories. And I'm not saying he's 100% trustworthy. Nobody in the media is, but you can see here he said, "How could I not be open to anything at this point? I mean, there's been so much deception that you can't trust your preconceptions." So then, additionally, some of y'all might say, "Well, Tucker Carlson, he's just a news anchor. He doesn't know anything." But if you check out this article, this is from IFL Science. They point out that an ex-Russian space chief claimed that NASA's moon landings were fake. And this was earlier this year, May of this year. But again, since early spring up until now, and all in between, flat Earth has been mentioned consistently, right? It was on an episode of Wheel of Fortune. It's in a lot of TV shows, commercials, things like that. So, in addition to this Russian space chief claiming that the images from the moon landing were fake, we've also seen artificial intelligence in Russia saying that moon landing images from the United States are fake. And this is what I've been saying for a long time. Like, look, yeah, I don't know enough about astrophysics and astronomy to prove beyond a reasonable doubt myself that they didn't go to the moon. But here's the thing, myself and almost anybody with a basic understanding of physics and photography could prove that the footage is fake, right? So maybe they went and the radiation coming back destroyed the footage and they had to shoot it in a studio. I don't know. But I know people with degrees in photography and people who have researched it for more than 10 minutes can find a lot of reasons to agree with what this artificial intelligence says. But yet, if you go on something like ChatGPT, it's going to tell you that moon landing deniers are conspiracy theorists. So this should really call into question how reliable any artificial intelligence is at all. It's basically only capable of outputting the type of information that is input into the computer. So something to think about there. So Russian space chiefs, Russian artificial intelligence says that the moon landing is fake. And this is important because a lot of people who will try to argue with you about the shape of the earth or about these space agencies will tell you, well, if NASA were lying, all the other space agencies would expose them. It's like, well, here you go. Here's other space agencies exposing them, right? And this will probably not go much further than this because ultimately it's a money laundering scheme for all of these countries. Another example, right, of why this stuff is important, if you go to NASA's own website, if you look at their own documents, they claim that this is their only real image of Earth. They call it the blue marble. This was an image of Earth from Apollo 17. And there's a couple things to think about here. Go and look up the word image. I've talked about this in other videos. The word image is implying that it is edited somehow. It is photoshopped somehow. It's not the same thing as a true photograph. Here's some other things to think about. The science cringe lord Neil deGrasse Tyson, basically the authority on everything astrophysics and science and astronomy, he claims that the Earth is an oblate, pear-shaped spheroid. Yet all the images from NASA that come out are these composite perfect spheres. Okay, so somebody is lying here. You should additionally see some satellites, right, or something. Notice if you look at any ISS footage, you never see satellites in the background, even though there's supposed to be something like 8,000 orbiting Earth, all going thousands of miles an hour. So people tell me all the time, well, if this conspiracy were true, there would have to be thousands of people in it, all the teachers, all the pilots, all the astronauts, everybody working at NASA, they're all trying to lie to you to hide the shape of the Earth. And ultimately, no, like this meme explains it very well. You have teachers that have no clue any conspiracy exists. They are just teaching what they were taught. Those university professors, they're only allowed to research things within certain parameters or they won't get funded, right? So the people who control this model and control this way of looking at the universe, they control what then gets taught down at the lower levels. The children, obviously, they're just blindly following what the adult teaches them because that's what they're designed to do. So this stuff is going more and more mainstream because people are realizing that our society is filled with all kinds of lies. And at this point, the shape of the earth just seems like it's a small thing they would lie about at this point, honestly. And look, you can see I have 2 degrees in the background, right? I have a master's degree. Up until many years after I had my master's degree, I still believed in a globe Earth revolving around the sun, the moon landing, all those things. But now that I'm older and I've actually researched it and I've seen a lot of things wrong with those theories and those explanations, I feel that I have the right to ask questions. And you do too. So don't let anyone discourage you and try to tell you that this stuff is silly or that you should just believe what you're told. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. It's actually a sign of intelligence. So there you go. There's 3, 4 things to think about flat Earth coming out and becoming more and more mainstream this year. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate your time. God bless.